morning. How are you doing?
Why do I have a camera?
Well, is this for where Frank McMinn lives?
Yes.
Is he here?
No.
Oh, okay.
Can I ask why you have a camera?
Sure.
Yeah.
We're creating YouTube news stories.
Oh, well, this is not the time because I have my hair up and the girl's got her camera on me and I don't like that.
That's okay. I'll just slip you some information here, okay? And if you wouldn't mind giving that to Mr. McMinn, we would really appreciate that.
Well, why does she still have the camera?
Well, it's part of our news story.
Well, I know, but it's not fair.
That's okay. We'll turn it off. Here's the card. Okay?
You have a nice day and say hi to Frank McMinn for us, would you?
We'll come back at another time.
Yeah, I know, because I'm trying to get dressed here and the girl still just has the camera.
Oh, turn off the
Are you good? What's your name?
Rick.
Rick. Rick?
Yes.
Okay, Rick, my name is Jack.
Okay, Jack.
My name is Jack Nordby. The story is in 1973, Tom Raley was on the verge of bankruptcy. Not very many people know that.
No, I didn't.
Yes. Our dad came into town and he convinced the three people running Raley's, which was Chuck Collins, Jim Teal, and Frank McMinn, that he could turn the company around. And so they thought he could do it, and he agreed to give him bonuses if he could. So they let him implement his program, and it turned Tom Raley's company around, created the success that we see today, and then they went ahead and defrauded this man. That's a big story, because everything that Raley's has is based on what Charles Nordby did for the company and what they did to him. And because Raley's is such a large advertiser, none of the news media will touch this story. So we're going to touch it for him. And we're going to go around and we're going to hand everyone a copy of the story. This is the letter that went to Frank McMinn this morning.
He lives right around the corner over here.
Right. So we're going to tell everyone, even if we have to go one by one as we see people out on the watering their garden, and let them know about this story, because what was done was a tremendous crime against our father and our mother and our family.
Did you hear the story about Cordy Brothers?
Yes, it's in the paper.
Yes.
Right.
Well, they're doing the same thing to Cordy Brothers. They like to stamp out the competition. They like to cheat people any way they can.
So we're just going to let everyone know that Raley's is not the company that people think that they are, because they got their entire success by defrauding our father.
He tried to take them to court.
Rick, thank you for reading that.
Okay.
And all we can do is tell people. We don't expect you to do anything else.
Okay.
But thank you. And what's your last name, Rick? Because you're going to go on YouTube. We want you to be able to find it.
No, I'll pass.
Okay.
Okay.
Because I want him to be able to have this.
Okay.
Most people don't know this, but 1973, Tom Raley's was on the verge of bankruptcy. Did you know this? The man who owns Raley's supermarket
I
chain?
know who you're talking about. I vaguely.
Okay. Well, let me tell you what happened, because it is the most successful supermarket chain on the West Coast, and people don't know the true story behind Raley's success. We want to tell everyone what really happened. In 1973, Charles Nordby, a man with 9 children, came into town. He convinced the 3 men that were running Raley's, which was Chuck Collins, Jim Teal, and Frank McMinn, who was the neighbors of yours on the other street. I don't know if you know that.
No, I don't.
Yes. He convinced them that he could save Tom Raley's company. Now, they didn't think he could, but they allowed him to try, and they promised to give him some bonuses if his program succeeded. So for 3 solid years, he put Tom Raley's company on the fast track to success. And it created what we see today as this great Raley empire. But what people don't know is that they cheated the man who saved Tom Raley's. Isn't that an incredible story? This is a big story. It has tremendous implications, and you're going, why have I never heard this story? It's because the news media makes so much money on Raley's advertising, they cannot touch this story. Joyce Teal is worth $1.2 billion, and nobody can touch her. But you see, we are the family of Charles Nordby, and we're going to touch it. And we're going to go out and make sure that everyone in Northern California hears the true story of Tom Raley's and how our dad is the man who made them what they are today, and also what they did to him. What's your name?
Don Brown.
Don Brown. Nice to meet you, Don. My name is Jack Nordby. I'd like to leave this with you and just thank you for allowing us to videotape you for this YouTube news story. Okay?
All right.
So Don, do we have one of those cards that I could give to him? this is our card. We're gonna post this, our little interview with you on YouTube, okay?
Okay.
Is there anything you'd like to say before we go?
Go Obama.
Go. Well, we were hoping you would say, I'm gonna tell all my family and friends about what happened to your father. Will you do that? Thank you, Don. We really appreciate it. Okay.
Thank you very
Have a
much.
great day.
All right, you guys have a nice.
Go Obama. People don't realize how they became successful. And that's what we're doing today, is we're sharing with people the true story of Tom Raley's success. Because in 1973, Tom Raley was on the verge of bankruptcy. Did you know that? You did. Well, in 1973, when they were almost broke and going out of business, our father came into town and he convinced the three men running Raley's, which was Chuck Collins, Jim Teal, and Frank McMinn, that he had a program that would save Tom Raley's business from going out of business. And they agreed to allow him to put his program into practice. They also agreed to pay him promised bonuses if his program succeeded. Well, as you can see today, his program succeeded. It's made them the largest private grocery store chain in the West Coast. And so everything that they have is based on what our father did for them. And what did they do to our father? They defrauded him of the bonuses that they promised to give to him. It's the most incredible story because Joyce Raley Teal is worth $1.2 billion. And it's all because of what our dad did for the company and what they did to him. Isn't that an incredible story? It's very interesting. Now, the reason why you've never heard this story before is because Raley's is probably one of the largest advertisers in the area. None of the news media can touch this story because they don't want to lose their advertising dollar from the Raley supermarket chain. And so they've all got this hush on this story, even though it's an incredible story. We want people to know about it because it affected our dad, our mom, and all of our brothers and sisters by what happened to our dad. So what we've done...
It also affects the legacy of Tom Raley.
It does. It changes everything. It really does. So I don't know if you know, but one of the men that defrauded our father lives on the next street over. His name is Frank McMinn. Are you familiar with Frank McMinn?
I've heard the name.
You've heard his voice is on the radio and on TV quite often. And so what we're doing is we're handing people the story of Tom Raley to remind people and to remind Frank McMinn of what really happened with Raley's. So we just want to thank you for letting us do this quick interview with you. What is your name?
Mike
Mike? What's your last name, Mike?
Anderson.
Mike Anderson. Mike, you'll be able to go onto YouTube and see this quick interview. Is there anything you'd like to say?
No, interested to read a little more about it.
Are you? Well, if you...
Why after all this time is this?
Well,
why are you?
Well, they wrote a history book in 1989, and it was when they gave that history book to their employees that we got involved. Back in 1991.
We've been fighting this for 17 years, and we finally said, you know what? None of the news media is going to touch this story. We need to go out, and now with the advent of YouTube, we can now take this story online all over the world. And we believe eventually some big news company is going to pick this story up because it's the most incredible story of a company turnaround, probably in the history of America. You can go on to RaleysExposed.com. It's a fun website, but all the information that you need to believe this story is right there. It'll take you weeks to go through it because we've put all the evidence there. But you'll hear our dad's voice on there explaining how he turned Tom Raley's company around and what they did to him in return. So, thank you so much. Anything you want to say?
Nope.
This
Thank
is it.
you
This is
very
your moment. Well,
You're a good sport.
thank you very much. Have a great day. Appreciate you doing it.